I cannot have today's topic without talking about this. This incident is very well documented, it made mainstream news back in the day, and created a lot of controversy around the wrestling business. It was November 23, 1996, at an ECW house show in Massachusetts. A tag team match was supposed to take place, where New Jack was supposed to team up with his partner, Mustafa Saeed, to take on Devon Dudley and Axel Rotten. But for some reason, Devon's partner, Axel Rotten, didn't show up. He didn't make the show, so Paul Heyman, who was the owner of ECW at the time, had to find a replacement, and real quick. Then out of nowhere, here comes this allegedly 21 years old fan to convince Paul Heyman that he was a trained professional wrestler and he was willing to fill in for the spot, and his in-ring name was none other than the Mass Transit. Well, technically he didn't come out of nowhere. That 21 years old guy was attending the show with his father, and somehow he got backstage to Paul Heyman to give him that offer, and Heyman at the time had no choice but to accept that offer. And as they were putting the match backstage, that 21 years old guy, which by the way his real name was Eric Coulis, he was told backstage that he had to bleed during the match, but he has a problem with that, not because he didn't want to do it, because he never done it before and he didn't know how to do it. So he did the biggest mistake of his life. Out of all people, he asked his opponent in the match, New Jack, to do it for him during the match. At this point, everything seems like nothing was out of place, except actually for two problems, and two major problems. Everybody, including Paul Heyman, will learn about very late and later that day. Problem number one, Eric Coulis wasn't a trained professional wrestler, and he didn't only lie about that, he lied about his age. He wasn't 21, he was 17. The match started, and during the match, Devon Dudley and New Jack brawled outside the ring, while Saeed and Mass Transit fought inside the ring. But as things kept going inside and outside of the ring, Devon Dudley was thrown out of the ring and was told by Saeed and New Jack to stay the hell out of the ring and sell their offenses. And of course that left the gangstas with none other than the Mass Transit himself, Eric Coulis. Both of them double-teamed Coulis inside the ring, and then New Jack just went off. He beat the living crap out of him. Coulis was beaten by crutches, a toaster, and when it came to the bleeding spot that they agreed on backstage, New Jack used a surgical scalpel to cut the Mass Transit open. And after that, things went absolutely dark. The cut was much deeper than it should have been. Blood poured from Coulis' head. He lost so much blood that made him lose consciousness. And what even sadder, his father, who was sitting in the front row, was yelling, "Ring the effing bell, he's 17. And as soon as possible, medics rushed into the ring to aid Coulis. Following the incident, the Mass Transit story spread beyond wrestling news, beyond wrestling magazines, making headlines in local and national media. And 3 years later after the incident, New Jack actually went to trial and was sued by Eric Coulis' family on assault charges. However, New Jack was found not guilty after the jury found out that Coulis was the one who asked New Jack to cut him during the match. If you're still watching to this point, make me hear you guys what you feel about these stories. And if you like my content, make sure to subscribe and like my videos. Watch the previous ones. Thank you guys. Assalamu alaikum.